Okay, good morning to you all. I hope you are all doing well. Sorry for the lateness today, right? Sorry about that. I think we need to continue from where we left yesterday, right? We need to continue from where we left yesterday. Okay, okay, so let me restart. So let me load my notebook, the notebook that I was using yesterday. I think Matplotlib, Matplotlib. Okay, so this is it. In order to have a smooth one, let me just rerun. Re, let me run all. Yeah, start and run all. So run all the cells for me. Okay. So yes. Run all the cells for me. All the cells for me. Stops at somewhere. I saw a name error somewhere. Name not defined. Name not defined. I thought names were defined somewhere at the top. Um, where let's go on. I think this cell is supposed to be above. So let me move this cell up. I think this cell, if this cell is up, then that problem will be move cell up, move cell up, move cell up once more. Yeah. So now after this, let me run. Okay. So now that problem is solved. So now that problem is solved. Okay. Keep going. Plots. Okay. Okay. So yes, that is it. So yesterday we did about how many? We did the line, we did the the bar, line bar, then subplots. We treated subplots, and then we added the horizontal bar too. Yeah. So yes, the next thing, let's put on. Sorry about that. The next thing that we have to do is what? Let's look at scatter plots, right? So scatter, you want to how to create a scatter plots using what matplotlib, right? So let me start by making this. So what scatter plots. Okay, so this one, so it is just similar to the line plots, right? But yeah, it's just similar to the line plots. Similar to the line plots, it also allows you could equally use it to identify trend, right? Yeah. So this one is mostly used when we are dealing with what regression stuffs. When we are dealing with regression stuff, you always want to see if what is there a linear, relationship between stuff within those two numerical variables. You want to know whether as the price of this is going up, does the price of something also goes up. You're comparing those two at the same time. You want to see when you're comparing those two things. So you want to see, oh, okay, as how is yeah, that's the that's the thing. You want to compare, you want to see the scenario I gave. So um as what and we use, right? We get a good example. Okay, so let's see how to create what? A scatter plot, right? Let's see how to create a scatter plot. So we want to create some numbers. Let's create some numbers and then use for the scatter, right? You can create some numbers and use for the scatter. So, or I think we equally have what? The gas data set. I've loaded it already. So we can just use about two columns or so. Okay, let's generate some numbers using numpy and see. Numpy dot what? Lane space. Lane space. Yeah, lane space. Lane space. I want to pick some numbers between 10 and 15 game, but I want like 20 numbers. Give me 20 numbers. This is more of like give me 20 numbers between between 10 and 15. So I get 10, 10.26, 10 points, 50, 20 numbers. So I'll use these numbers. Let me see. So I can store this one as x is equal to this. I'll store this one. That's output as my x. Then I can equally put some random numbers too, right? NumPy can generate some random numbers. Random.rand. So we can go random integer. No, rand. Okay, so we can go for this. So if you want to know what this, you can verify what this does. Random values in a given range. So it creates an array of a given shape and populates it with random samples from a uniform distribution that's over between 0 to 1. So you get numbers between 0 to 1, right? So you just need to we just need to pass our number. We just need some 20 numbers to match the first 20 numbers that we created in. So let's say we need 20. So if we do this, we equally get 20. So let's say this one is equal to y. So we've generated our y2. Then now we can just create a scatter diagram or scatter plot, right? So how do we do that? We have PLT. We've imported matplotlib as PLT. Then PLT dot what? Scatter. It is there. So plt.scatter, we just need to give the x and y values. So our x is already there. We've defined our x and we've defined our y. So if I run this, you should see it. See that? So it is using those two numbers, right, to give us the output. So where this point and this point meets, this point and this point. Line point, the line plot is just more of like this with the lines joined, with the points joined by a straight line. That is it, right? So let's go. So with how the customizations that we did with line plots, we can do the same thing. It means what? We can deal with the marker. We can change the marker's color. We can change the colors of the marker, right? We can change the marker, the size of the. So we can specify the marker that we want to use. Currently, it is using what? So we can say, well, I can use what? A square. You see that? Or I can go with what? A color for the squares. We can go for what? Maybe black. You see that? So yeah, that is it? As for the customizations, I would say those ones are not difficult for anyone. So you can, for the customizations, you just keep going. You just go inside PLT what title PLT the title, then you give your title. You see that? Then you go PLT dot X label. You give your X label PLT dot. You see that? Those ones are normally so yeah. So let me just leave it here. So yes, we can go for we can what can we do? We can say what do we want to do? We can go for we can let's try to plot this one. Let's try to plot maybe um uh, using the gas price. We can try and do some scatter plot, right? We can plot we try and plot those. We just need to. We are just using those numbers, right? We can plot two gas prices against each other, one gas price against each other, right? So we can go PLT just like that. We just want to plot the scatter. So let's just use what our X will be what gas at where at maybe what UK. We just pick the UK as our X. Then we say gas at what maybe Japan. So let's see. Yeah. So when we do this, we've plotted the gas prices of these two countries using those two as our data points, and then we have this, right? So you have two numerical numbers that you want to see the relation between them. You can use what? The scatter, right? So yes, this is it. As for the, I always say the customizations is just on you, is dependent on you. So we go marker is equal to what? Star, eh? Then we go comma color to be equal to, let's say what, red. Then you give what, a title. You give an X label. You can say you can add a grade. You can add a grade to it. Grade. You see that? Then you add what? You just keep customizing. You make the X label. You make the Y label, right? That is it for that one. Then that is it for scatter. As I said, the moment for visualize the visualizations, the moment you get the first concept, the next concept is just by you changing the method and knowing what to add, what you can use as your X and what you can use as what your Y, right? So we'll be looking at, we'll leave it here, like this. Then let's go to the next one, which is what? Um, histogram, histogram, histogram. Histogram is more of like is the same as more of like the bar plots that you know, but this time just that there are no spaces. It is just the bars are what attached to each other. So it is a bar representation of data that varies over a range. The same stuff with the bar, right? Okay. So how do we create histograms? How do you want if you want to create a histogram? Then you just call plt dot what hist. So far, let me go here. So far, okay, let's go. I think so far what we did what so far we've done what for the line plot we did what plt dot what plot. Then for bar we did plt dot what bar. For scatter I said what plt dot what scatter. Now I'm saying plt dot what hist for histogram, right? We did plt dot what pi for pi. You see that when we wanted to do subplots, we did what plt dot what subplots. So it's just that. And for the customizations, we knew we saw what we did. We did plt.x label to label the x, plt.y label to label the y, plt.title to give it a title, plt.legend to make the legend show, right? Um, then yes, whole lot of modifications. This is all good. So let's go. Let's create I think when I run this, there will be trouble. So let me just give them list them. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so far this way, so far we've tried, we've mentioned this once, and it's only the hits that we are yet to do it here. So yes, PLT, yes, we want to um take some range of numbers and we do some comparisons with them, right? So we have our gas price already. We have our gas price already, so we can just we can just use one country to create a bar. So plt dot what haste. Then we just need to give the some data so we can see gas at what USA. So when we run this, we should get an output. We should get an output. So you see, we're together. Okay, so this is more of like the range, the numbers itself. They were within this, and the number of times. It's more of like the number of times it appeared over here, right? If you had a number two for the hits that you wanted to use on your y2, you could specify it. So you can just confirm what plt.hist does. You see that? So we have our x that we want to use, our bin. We can specify a range. The most important thing is always the x, right? The most important thing is always the x. Then this one's label stacked is equal to false. So it means we can say stacked, can check something. Then we can go, you can just check there. Any of those things that you find there, there's always the explanations over here for you. Yeah. Okay, yes, so you can do a few modifications. We'll try to do a few one. You know how to you can change the color. You can do what a few things. So maybe you can set the color to a color that you want, right? You can set the color a color. So color is equal to say M to be move. Then you can keep going. I think what can we say again? We can even specify the bins. Let me see the bins. So this start from 1, 2, 3. Cumulative is equal to true. So let's set cumulative is equal to true. Cumulative, right? Cumulative is equal to what? True. It is a boolean, eh? Cumulative is equal to true. It means it keeps adding up. Keeps adding up. Adds cumulative is equal to true. Yeah, but this is how it will be. So the values of this, the next one is just add to it. Nah, I don't like this. But yes, when that is what it has done to it, right? So yes, we can do a whole lot with it. The customizations is always there for you to do, right? It's always there for you to do. Okay, it's just similar to the bar chart. So normally I don't like to waste time or waste a lot of time over here, right? There are certain these ones. Pandas, one thing that I forgot to tell you is this one. Pandas equally have what? It's plotting. You can equally plot with what? Pandas, even without using what? The matplotlib, right? You can do it. Pandas itself has a way of a method for plotting. So for instance, so let's say we want to use pandas for plotting. So let's say pandas pandas plotting. So let's go. I'm coming. So this. So pandas plotting. You just need to call what the column that you are dealing with. So for instance, we have what gas. Gas, eh? The gas. Um, we have what the gas data. So imagine I take what the UK. You see that when I call this, I'm calling the UK data. You see that I'm getting this UK info. So I can just call what dot plot on it. Dot plot. But this one, this dot plot, if I don't say anything, it gives me a line. Have you seen that? Because I didn't say anything, I didn't just do this one by default, it is giving us a line plot, right? But if you don't want a line plot in the pandas, you just there's a parameter that you have to set and say what kind is equal to what. So if you say kind is equal to bar, then it means you want to. Okay, so let me rather, instead of me doing it here, let me do it on a new line, right? So this one, let me leave this one as the line. So when I come here, I say kind is equal to bar. So now you see I'm getting a bar chart over here, right? This is just what pandas itself can do for us, right? Just that pandas and matplotlib can work together. So we can, as we've done this, we can come and say, because they work together, we can say plt dot what title, then title is equal to uh this one pandas what. So and then you see that the heading is there because the two works together. It can, when you use this one to plot, you can use this one to add, to modify the figure it has outputted, right? So yes, this was a bar, a bar. So if you don't want a bar, you just need to specify. So imagine we didn't want this, we wanted a horizontal bar. We can just say what bar h, bar h. Then it changes it this way. You see that? So pandas plotting tool is also easy, sometimes very quick. You just do your analysis and you just want a quick visualization to to confirm something. You just do call the column name, then you just pinpoint on it, right? Yeah, so if it is, sorry about that. Okay, so yes, I imagine you didn't want this, you wanted a pie, but the data that is not doesn't is not good for a pie though. Yeah, it's not good for a pie because the sections are too much. But if you want to do a pie, we'll use a data set that is good for pi. So let me not even do it. Right. Let me not even do it. Yeah, but you just change the kind, right? The kind is equal to, set the kind is equal to whatever that you want. Right. The kind. So yes, pandas equally have what? Plotting. And we know how, we've just seen how to use pandas for it. You just call the column name, the column that you want to do the plotting on. Then you go. Equal to. Mhm. Okay, so that is it for this one. For the field visualization that we will do in matplotlib, we'll look at the next one. We'll look at how to use Seaborn too, Or Seaborn also gives us this one. We'll be doing heat map, and heat map is not we for heat map we'll use what the Seaborn for it, right? We use Seaborn because when you want to do plt dot heat plt dot we don't see, so normally we go to heat map. We are not seeing it here. I'm not seeing it here. So normally I will go to Seaborn and we'll use Seaborn for to do that. So Seaborn also gives us uh on Seaborn also gives us a lot of more functionalities, right? Okay, so Daniel is saying, please can you plot can you plot can you plot on the same graph like a line? Oh yeah, I think yeah. So imagine you mean this. Um, you mean this. So let me see what Daniel is saying. So plt.plot. Okay, let me go here. So let me use this one, right? So you say scatter, and so let me just plot plt.plot. You know this is what? So gas at where? At what? Maybe Japan or USA. Just this, and I've plotted that one too on it. See that it is also on it. You can, the moment you do it, you create it, it will be there, right? It will be on it. I think it will be on it. The moment your data, the data will allow you to do it. The data is good to work with that. That's fine. So we would like to move on. So Dante, I hope that was good. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. Just as the same figure, you can plot several. You just plot all of them on it, right? Okay. So yes, let's look at what. Let's we have Seaborn. I have Seaborn. So if you don't have Seaborn, you use what? Pip install what? Install what? Seaborn, right? Pip install Seaborn. I think I already have Seaborn installed, so they'll tell me requirements already satisfied. Requirements already satisfied. Seaborn is there. Okay, so I just need to import it. So import what? Seaborn as what? SNS. That's the alias. So import Seaborn as SNS, right? So yes, as I've imported Seaborn as SNS, you see, Seaborn is more of like it was built on Matplotlib, so it's basic. It's also we use it for the same stuff, meaning it can equally work in conjunction with what Matplotlib, right? It can equally work in conjunction with what this Matplotlib. So for it, let's start first. We want to create a bar chart of the years. So over the years, we want to see, uh, let's see, over the years. So from 1990 to the current year, what was the gas prices? How have the gas prices of let's say what UK changed over the period? Have you seen that? How? So you just go. You've imported this time no longer the PLT. So SNS dot what? Now here, let's see. Here you have what? Over in the other place for mass plot it was what? Bar. Just bar, but here it is what? Bar plot. So here most of them there's plots attaching. So with this you just need to what? Seaborn, there are two ways we can go like this. We need to specify the x and the y. But Seaborn one, as let me show you this one first. This one I need to give my x as what, the year. Then I go comma gas at what, UK. So with this, if I run, you see this. You see this. It has come, right? It has come, but see one, you see there's so much warning. Pass the variable, you see that the data variable. So Seaborn doesn't want you to do it that way. But you can, even though you get your output, you can ignore the warning and take your output and bounce, right? So let's do what Seaborn wants us to do. Seaborn expects you, this is the right syntax that Seaborn wants you to do. Seaborn wants you to do this. Then when you go inside, you say, you call the name, give a var, set data. There's an argument called data. So which data are you using? You have a data frame called what? Gas. You see that I have a data frame called gas. So that is what I want to use. Then comma, in that data frame, which column are you using for your x? Then you then specify my x is what? The year column. Then I go, which y are you using? My y is what? UK. So when you see this, you see that this one, the warning didn't come. The warning didn't come, but we had the same what? Output. The warning didn't come, but we had what? The same. Is that not it? Right? So yes, this is how it's supposed to be. But now you see that things are running into each other. So there are two ways. Either we increase the figure size, we can increase the figure size, or we rotate them. So let's see. Let's try. Let's try both things. So plt dot what x sticks. As I said, because they are all Seaborn and this one works, we can rotation is equal to, let's say, 30. Let me see, rotation is 30, so I'm rotating the years by 30. So if this is okay, then we'll go with it. But we see that we are having this text, as I said, this noise, we can stop it by just with what, a semicolon, or we type plt.show. So yes, I've rotated here. If that is not good, then we can increase the angle to maybe 50 degrees and see. 50 degrees, 50 degrees, yeah, something closer. Or or instead of me looking at rotating it, as I said, you can equally what, maybe it means the figure is smaller. So let's what, create a bigger picture, a bigger figure. So plt what dot figure. Then I go fixed size. I can set the fixed size to be what? Maybe I need a longer width so that the years will not be running into each other. So I can take 15 as the width, but the height I'm still okay with it being small. You see that? So yes, you see that now I've had what? I now have what? A bigger what? The width is now longer, so the years no longer runs into each other, right? And you see how Seaborn is, even see how the bars is even like beautiful more than what Matplotlib was giving us, right? It's beautiful more than, yeah, it looks nicer than what Seaborn was giving us. What Matplotlib was giving us. Now with this one, I want to let you see what, there's color maps like palettes and so on. How to check the colors how to choose the colors that you want over here, right? Let me go here. Color maps, Matplotlib color maps. Color maps in Matplotlib. Color maps in Matplotlib. Okay, so color maps. Let me just see. You see them over here. Okay, so these are the colors. we can go for any of this color depending on the colors that you want. You can select, right? So we have the grays, we have the purples, we have the blues, we have the greens, the oranges, we have the red, and so on. So let's go back and say what we want. Maybe the so there's an argument called what? Palettes. Palette. So palette allows you to set what? The color palette, the set of colors that you want to use. So we can say palette is equal to what? Greens, greens. So if I say the greens, oh, what happened? Greens, what happened to me? The greens, what happened? Attributes. Attributes. That is not okay. I think my palette is not spelled correct. P, yeah, and it is double T here. Okay, so yes, that was it. And you see, look at the outputs that we've had. You see that? So you just select the particular color that you want. And so if I say I don't want the greens, I want what? The blues. The blues. Then it goes this way. You see that? It's just a matter of this. And if you don't want it, so as I said, when you go here, you can just see the different set of colors that color combinations that you want, right? So you just so cool. Let me say cool. Let me go and use cool and see. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, cool. This is cool. You see that? So yes, you see, Seaborn allows you to have a nice way of getting things. With Seaborn, you see how the background is this way. We can even set the default style. We can say, okay, we can change the default so that the background shouldn't be plain like this. We can set the we can say what? SNS dot what? It is what? Set style. Set style. Yeah. So we can equally set palette. This one's allow you to set the default settings. You can change the default settings of something, right? So you can say maybe the default one should be what? A dark grade. I think they are when we have white grade, dark grade, and the normal one. So when after running this, if I run this again, you look at the change. You see that there's now what? More of like a background of what we did, right? So with this too, with Seaborn, as I said, it works with what? Matplotlib. So you can say plot dot what title. Then you go. What are we saying? Our Makola, oh, Makola analysis. See that? I didn't do my plot dot show. Oh, hmm. So yes, so yes, that this works for you, right? This works for you. Yeah, so the color palette. So normally, let's just find do a question mark SNS dot what bar plot, eh? So when we do this, what can we set? We have our data, we have our X and Y. Yeah, the data is there. Then there's order. We can set order. Most of these ones you just so the major one is what? Palette. We set palette. Palette is there, but color too is there. Color means you want maybe if we set color, then it means we want it to be a single color, right? Imagine we don't set what? Imagine I come here. I think let me take this. Let me take this. And place it here. And now instead of palette, let me use color. So you see, color is equal to red. Red. You see that? So you get what? A single color and stuff, right? see. So there are various ways of you doing these things. Okay. So as I said, when you go to the color maps, this website, that's Matplotlib's site, Matplotlib's website, there are color maps, codes for color maps are there. So you just see the combination. If that's what you want, you just pick it and you use it, right? Mhm. That's good. Okay. See that? See that? See that? So you just pick the color combination that you want and pastel one. Pastel one. Let's try pastel one. Let's see. Pastel, pastel. I just want to see pastel one. Oh yes, pastel one. Okay, so yes, that's it. So yes, this was really with Seaborn. So let's do what? We just try histogram 2 with Seaborn. So histogram with Seaborn is what? I just said is just what? The name, the model that you've imported dot hist. This one is his plot. In Matplotlib it is just his, but here it is what? His plot. So we can just go gas what? Gas at what? Let's say USA, right? So you see that we get the same stuff, right? We get the same stuff. You can do the modifications as you want the same way. Plt.title, plt.this, plt.this, right? So let's do something. Let's load. Let's work with some data sets. Seaborn has some default data sets that we can work with, but for now, let's. I want us to use one particular data set, right? SNS dot what? Load data set. There's one data set, the iris data set about these flowers. You see that? So we'll get something like this, right? I want us to do something. So let me save this as a data frame. So iris is equal to this. So when we have this, let me come here and say what iris dot head. So we have this data set. We can do a scatter of maybe the sepal length versus the petal length, and then we'll see the variations, whether which kind of species have this kind of uh, which kind of species, or maybe if the sepal length is higher and the petal length are smaller, they are this kind of things. These ones are used they are mostly very prominent, or like good, or very used mostly when we are doing machine learning stuff, right? But we need to do, let's see, SNS dot what? Scatter. As I said here, everything is added. Plot is added to it. So it is just like the line plot. So you expect us to give it what? A data. So data is what? Let's see, this one is no longer gas, what? Irish. Then now it expects us to give it the s. So our x will be equal to, then we give one particular column, as I said, sepal underscore length, length. Okay. Then I say my y is equal to sepal length. Then I say petal length. The next one is what? Maybe what? Petal underscore length. Right. So yes, if I do this, if I run this value error, it means here length, sepal GTH, not HT. Okay. Okay. H each. So this is what I get. So mostly when you do something like this, maybe you want to know, oh, there's also another column that has different entries. So because let me see this one, sepal Irish dot what species dot what unique, you see that we have what Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. So we want to see which of these ones are what, which of these points is a point of, which is this point, was this point a Setosa, was this point a versicolor, was this point a virginica, something like that. When you have that in mind, you can just what set it over here. Like there's another parameter called what hue that helps you with that. So basically every plot that you do, you need to know, what you want to do, then the which library will make it easier, which library will make it easier for you, right? So I say species, use a differentiate them using the species column for me. That's just what this does for you, right? So when you do this, you see that. So now we are seeing, oh, okay, these ones were what, this ones, the blues were Setosa, then the oranges are versicolor, and the green are what, virginica. So you are seeing that. So it means the virginicas, they have what, larger sepal length, and at the same time larger petal length, so bigger flowers. So those are what, then you see those, the medium, those that are one hot, they are what, versicolor, and those that are small, they are what, Setosa. At least just this visuals, you have been able to, it has been able to create something like this for you. Hmm? Right, it has been just able to do this, and that was, I mean, we use what, just this, I mean, we just use what, Seaborn to do that, right? That is it. Yeah, there are so many visuals. There are so many things that you can do, right? So you can see, we can have what, distribution plots. We have what, there are so many. There are so many. We have distribution plots. SNS dot what, distribution, this plot, this plot, and this plot distribution. So let's say this one, sometimes let's find this one. What does it do? What visuals that it gives? It displays deprecated flexible plus, oh, it's deprecated, meaning it is, Python is trying to take it off. When they say it is deprecated, they are trying to, they don't want us to be using it again. But let's see, that's at what, telling us that, yeah, the function will be removed in future versions. So yes, they don't want us to use this. They are saying we should use what, um a deprecated function, and will be removed in future versions. Please adapt your code to use either what, this plus the one without t, or histogram, hist plot, right? So yes, this was distribution plot. This is always good though, because after it gives you the histogram, it then tries to give you a line, so you know whether this was a bell shape. When you know you have a bell shape, a single bell, then you know you are dealing with what, a normal distribution, whether you are dealing with what, a bimodal distribution. These are a bit of statistics works, right? But as I said, it's just a matter of you knowing what this thing does. It allows you know what the distribution of what's the column, the distribution of the data that you are working with, right? Mm. So yes, no need to worry. So they are saying we should change it. There's a warning, so we can go for the this plot, and this one doesn't have that, right? So if you want, you see what we just did, right? If you want the line too has its own function that gives us the line, right? The line too has its own function that gives us a line. So the line is there. So, oh, this is kernel KD KD plot. Yeah. So when you do the KDE plot, you get the line. So let me see if I do these two on the same line. If I do these two, for here it doesn't. It did them on two separate figures. Thought it will be one will be on each other. So this didn't work over here, right? Okay, this didn't work. I think for matplotlib it worked. It's you are able to put one on each other. Okay. So now the next one that we would like to do is what? I think there's what? Count plots. There's count plots, right? Count plot, so it will count. So for instance, if you have a categorical value, a categorical entry in your data set. So currently we have in our data the Irish you are seeing, you have what? You have species. So that's Setosa, Versicolor, and those ones. So you want to know how many times how many entries were this one were more of like how many times did we get, how many rows were Setosa, how many rows were Versicolor, how many rows were this one. So dot what? Count plot. Count plot. Then you just give what? The so we are using what? Iris at what? Species, right? So they are also telling us we should specify the data instead of using this one, right? So yes, this one is using the count, right? So it means it seems they are all the same, 50 50 50. So we can do it for let's do for dot what? Count plot. Let's use data, let's use our gas and see something. Gas, comma, we will say our x is equal to what? Year. Let me say year. So we see which year. Okay, this one to the years were the same. So each year appeared once, and so there's more. So if there were variations, you would have seen it, right? So this one doesn't work. It's we are okay with that. Another one, another visual that we would like to create is what the heat map. Sorry about that. The heat map. So how are we able to create a heat map? As I said, Seaborn will allow. We'll use Seaborn in creating it, right? We'll use Seaborn in creating it. So if you have some two numbers that two ranges, so like you have a a summarized version of whatever that you want to do. So let's try to create a heat map over here. For me to create a heat map, I would like to use the gas dataset, but I don't want, so this one, correlation, c.core. I think this one gives us the correlation of the, the correlation of this dataset. So you get what? You get what is the correlation of year and year, the correlation. So you see these numbers, this data is very unique over here. Unique entries, the correlation of this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one, right? So I want to use this one to create a heat map. If I want to use, oh, undo. If I want to use this to create a heat map, then it means I just need to go sns dot what? Heat map. Then I just need to pass in the data, right? I just need to pass in the data. I want to use this output that I'm seeing here. So I just do what? The same code that gave me that output and say what? Dot CORR, then this. So you see this, you have your output over here, right? So this is it. You are having, so we can question ourselves, we can just ask our question. XNS dot what? Heat map. What does it do? sns.heatmap, what does it do? It takes what the data, the vm cmap. Cmap is the color. It's just more of like the palette that we used, right? So we'll pass in the palette. Annotate, we can set annotate more of like, so annotate, we can set annotate to be equal to true, annotate to be true, and so on. Yeah, there's a max. So let's just work with those parameters. So you can come here, look at this. If I set annotate, oh, I'm outside. If I say annotate is equal to what? True. You see their correlation values are then added to it, right? Their correlation values are being added, right? Then the cmap cmap is what I said, what they are the colors, so you can say what we the same green. I can say greens, then we are getting for greens. If I go for a different, if I go and pick any color over here, it will work for us, right? If I say cool, just like we did cool up there, it should work for us. Have you seen that? If I go for blues, right? So yes, this works. So this is what we've been able to create, what uh, uh this. So I can equally, I think we so far we've been working and we've forgotten about our subplots, right? So let me just send this one up and add it up to one of the subplots. I'll add the other one visual to it. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Subplots, where are you? Okay, so I think the third position I have to change it. So third position, I no longer need you. I just paste this. So this is it. Okay, so I've kept this one at the third position. So I have what? This one here, I have this one here. So maybe just one, maybe what? A scatter. Let me go and bring the scatter, one scatter to here. Then let me go and bring a scatter. I can bring this one. I can bring this scatter, or let me take this scatter rather. I don't need this second. I don't need this second one. Okay, okay, okay. So let me take this and send it up there, right? Okay, so position 2. At position 2, I change it to this one. At position 2, then I run. So this is it for position 2, right? Okay, so yes, so far we've been able to do this few stuff over here. Are we okay? Are we together? Maybe so now this is just the basic visualizations that we'll be able to do. Depending on the visualization that you want to do, and the library that you'll be okay with, right? So you can just combine these two libraries and you'll be okay. You'll be okay with it, right? For now, we'll be working with these two. If there's a need for us to add another library, we'll add it, right? So I think this should end our visualizations this week. The whole week was for visualization, but we've exhausted all the visualizations that we'll be doing, right? Is there any question? Let me look. Are we okay? If you are okay, then we can continue. So see if we'll see. I'll send your assignment for the week, and then maybe for the rest of the week we'll try to set up um we'll try to prepare for next week. That is what setting up our, because next week is what we'll be doing with we'll be going to sequel, right? Um, so positive, yeah, for correlation, for the correlation. So imagine when we say these two, when we say the these two some two variables are correlated positively, if they are positively correlated, it means when one that one the first variable increases, the other one to also increases. If they are negatively correlated, it means what? When one is increasing, one is also what? Decreasing. Let me see that. So just look at this one. Just look at it this way. Correlation. Just look at it this way. So the price of imported goods is positively correlated with what? The price of the forex exchange of maybe the dollar, because they use dollar to buy it, right? So the more dollar goes up, the more the dollar price goes up. It means time. The price of goods, the price of imported goods will also go up because they use the dollar to buy those stuff. So what? That is what a positive correlation. There will be an instance whereby if they are more, look at this, if they are more produce in the market, the price normally goes down. Yeah, the price for, imagine there's too many tomatoes in the market. The price cannot be high because if the price is high, your tomato will end up spoiling or something like that. Just look at it from the forex, the dollar, and the goose perspective, right? Just look at it from that perspective. I want to understand. Is it that you are giving data in a Let me see. Let me read the comment from this side. Daniel is saying, please, I want to understand. Is it that you are given data and you must choose the kind of correlation and visualization, or it will be part of the task given? Yeah, it will be part of the task. So if the task demands you to say something to show the correlate those which goods are which variables are more correlated, you then you have to do it, you have to show, right? But it always depends. It always depends. I'm saying, you don't worry. When we start working, most of these questions you see them to be, you answer them, right? You see them being answered, right? When currently most it is, yeah, I think these questions are coming because we are just learning how to plot a histogram, how to plot a heat map, how to plot a pie chart, how to plot. We are not concentrating on what questions we are using it to solve now. Have you seen that? We are just, oh, okay, we want to do this, let's do it. You want to do this, let's do it. You want to do this, let's do it. For now, after next week, because next week is what? Sequel. After sequel, when we are done with all the fundamentals, then now you see the fifth week, then we are now bringing things together. We are bringing everything together. Then now you have a set of questions. Then you want to bring uh, do analysis. You want to, because there are a set of questions that you need to answer. Then you start working, right? So Danny, yeah, you let's see. There, it will be driven. It will be part of the questions that you answer, the analysis you have to do before you know what to do. As I said, if you see the analysis that you have to do will even determine any whether you'll be using the type of visual that you'll be using. You use, right? The type of visual, and the because based on the question, you know whether the columns that you have, you are okay. The columns, you can use those columns, or you have to do a lot of engineering stuff on it, and so on. Don't worry, we'll be fine when after some few weeks, right? So maybe tomorrow, I think what we'll do is we'll stream. We'll look at how to. I don't know whether um let's see. Let me see. We'll plan as to whether we'll do the installation this week. The um my SQL. We'll do the installation maybe Friday. Tomorrow I'll let you rest. I'll let you continue with this and with the assignment. I think I'll send the assignments too. Then with Friday we'll walk through the installation. Right? Please don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Let us do it together because I don't want you to miss any step. Right? If there's no question, then we'll leave it here. We'll see you. Happy practice, practice, practice. Do all the visualizations that you want to do. Enjoy, have fun with it. Just practice. Right. As I said, when you finish and you can send it to me. And I'll see. Right. There's nothing. Let's meet. We'll meet on I think Friday. Let's meet on Friday.